right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. We're doing something a little bit different here because I was tagged in a post on Instagram about a Shelby GT350 owner who has gone through 4 motors, or at least 3 motors. He's going to be on motor number 4 in under 100,000 miles. Now, keep this in mind. Every single 5.2 liter Shelby GT350 engine is going to cost you between $25,000 to $30,000. That is for the long block. It's going to vary on who you go to and also who's doing the work. That is roughly $100,000 to $120,000 worth of warranty work that was done to just one Shelby GT350. Now, after watching the video, let me know down in the comment section, is this a user error or is this just the unluckiest guy in the world? Because 4 motors, or at least 3 motors, needing a 4th, that is wicked at under 100,000 miles. Now, this video was uploaded by Formulin. You guys can check him out on YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and drop his YouTube channel in the description as well, at the top of the description. Check it out. Let's go ahead and watch this video to see exactly what's going on with his car.
Yeah, so the second motor lasted about 12,000 miles. I'm doing all my warm-up procedures correctly, and I'm doing everything.
These are all the comments on Instagram.
You know, after like the second
somebody
motor,
tagged me in the Instagram post,
you can't help but to start asking
I went
yourself,
and
like,
investigated.
okay, something that I'm doing wrong.
And I'm also kind of curious too.
This is kind of an impromptu video because I was not planning on talking anything about the Shelby this week. This week we're actually going to be dedicating to the vet.
Ooh, got a C8.
Starting that build. But the news that I got from this past week about the Shelby, I figured I had to. Ooh. It's not good.
That's a pretty crazy build, I ain't gonna lie. He's definitely enjoying his car. He's got the wing, he's got the arrow in the front, the canards, the track spec hood vents, the hood pins as well. He's definitely enjoying his car, I'll tell you that right now. Now, from my understanding, the guy's car is mechanically stock. You know, nothing done, no tune. He's just driving it and enjoying it. And he's on motor number 4 now, which is kind of ridiculous. And obviously, these aren't Gen 1 motors. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, the Gen 1 motors are unreliable. This guy is now on the 3rd Gen 2 motor. So I've been saying it, a lot of other people have been saying it, that Gen 1 versus Gen 2 myth, whatever you guys want to call it. Look, you know what I'm saying? 3 of them, that's wicked. That's actually wicked. Obviously, they did do some changes between Gen 1 and Gen 2, but the most important thing when buying a Shelby GT350, I always tell people, is the service records. It doesn't matter if it has a Gen 1 or a Gen 2. All that matters is who owned it or who owned it before the guy that you're buying it, how they treated the car, how they maintained it and whatnot.
I took the Shelby to the Ford dealership to get some problem resolved with the exhaust. And what was going on, I'm pretty sure it was the valve inside the actual piping was loose. So anytime I was above like 1,000 RPMs, it was just metal on metal, just rattling. So it sounded terrible.
That sounds kind of insane.
So I took it to the dealership to try and get that fixed. Although it's exhaust, the warranty that I have would technically cover it because the valve is like mechanical. So they would cover that part. So I was going there to get like a whole new exhaust system. Anyways, we went to the dealership to get the exhaust replaced.
All right.
And I show up, give them the keys to the car, they take it back. They come back like 10 minutes later and they're like, hey, you know you need a new motor, right? As you would probably expect, I'm shocked because I'm like, okay, I came here for a new exhaust, not a new motor. They walked me through their tests that the tech took and everything, and he was saying that essentially each piston wasn't firing at the correct compression rate that it was supposed to.
All right, so I had to go ahead and pause the video because things are getting a little bit confusing, and I guarantee a lot of you guys are probably confused as well. Imagine taking your car to a dealership for an exhaust issue, and then they say you need a new motor. Now, obviously, this guy has to take his car to the dealership because he has the warranty and you need all the service records. So if something were to go wrong, like what he said went wrong, it's going to be a lot easier to back up that you actually did not go ahead and cause the damage yourself. But it's weird how he took it to the dealership for an exhaust issue, and then like 10 minutes they do a compression check. How did that go from an exhaust issue to a compression check to say that you need a new motor? That's actually crazy. Within 10 minutes, that's insane. It's like they almost knew what was going on with the car. Maybe they did, you know what I'm saying, going into it. But I personally think that it probably took a little bit longer than 10 minutes. Maybe it just felt like 10 minutes, something like that. I think there was some foul play at the dealership. Maybe they took his car for a spin or something like that. And then, you know, I don't know, because that's wicked. Absolutely wicked. If I took my car to the dealership for an exhaust issue and then they completely tell me, hey, you need a new motor, I'm 100% going to go ahead and throw blame at the dealership. I mean, who wouldn't at that point? You're going in for something minor and you need major work done. You know what I'm saying? That's insanity.
And cylinders 5 and 7 were misfiring. So they're like, yeah, we really think that you need a new motor. The car, as you know, has like close to 95,000 miles. So
damn. So he has almost 95,000 miles on the chassis. This guy is driving his car. I'll tell you that right now. This guy probably has more miles than 10 Shelby GT350 owners combined. Like, that's crazy. Because realistically, like, I bought my Shelby GT350 with 10,800 miles on it. So literally, like, I feel like most of these cars, they're like low mile cars. This is a high mileage car. This guy has more than double the miles on his chassis than I have on my car. My car just rolled over 40,000 miles and he has 95,000 miles, close to 95,000 miles on the chassis. Hey, that's a W. That's a huge accomplishment. He be driving his car. I'll tell you that right now. That's insane.
I don't have any kind of factory warranty or anything like that, which thankfully the last 2 motors were covered under a powertrain warranty. But what I do have is an aftermarket warranty through Fidelity
Warranty Services. Hey, look, huge shout out to them. If they warrantied out 2 motors, if you're thinking about buying a Shelby GT350, hey, get with these fellas. This is honestly some badass promo for them. You know, if you're thinking about getting one or any car for that matter, shit. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to do that.
For the most part, they've covered pretty much everything. Like, I had AC failure or multiple AC failures.
That's crazy.
And they covered that. But, all right, we had to stop because there's just too much traffic. But essentially, Fidelity's process with something this major is to send out an inspector to...
Yep. That's why I take it to the dealership.
I guess to make sure that the engine actually needs to be replaced and to also make sure that it wasn't on my part. So the first motor we had to replace at 8,000 miles because that one was burning too much oil. Pretty
Gen 1.
Pretty much everyone has heard
8K
that
miles.
Before you ask, yes, that was a Gen 1 motor.
That's exactly why I tell people, look for a Gen 1 that has over 10,000 miles on it, that has the service records, All these guys want to be like, oh, I want to buy a Shelby GT350 that has like 2,000 miles on it. Look, it is not smart to buy, realistically, any car that is like 6-7 years old, that has 2,000 miles on it, especially if you're planning on driving it, right? Because it was owned by somebody or maybe a couple people who just bought it to just keep it in the garage or just literally just maybe take it to Cars and Coffee once in a blue moon. Yeah, think about it. 2,000 miles, 2016, 2017, 2018 car. It's 2025 right now. That car 100%, without a doubt in my mind, has the same motor oil in it from factory when it was first assembled. So, you know what I'm saying? I personally would never buy a car like that. You know, I would never buy a car like that. I would much rather buy a car that has some miles on it, but was maintained. So if you're looking at buying a Shelby GT350, you know what I'm saying, now, and it's not a Gen 2, but again, at this point, it don't matter. This guy is literally proof it don't matter. I would look for one that has like 10,000 miles with service records, 110%.
The second motor lasted about 12,000 miles.
So it's a
that
Gen
one
2.
Spun a rod bearing, which.
So 12,000 miles, Gen 2 motor. He spun a rod bearing. Maybe he was driving the car a little bit too hard. Maybe it ran a little bit too low on oil. Who knows? But just the way his car looks, he be getting at it. You know what I'm saying? It has all the track arrow for taking turns, high speed turns. You know, high speed turns when you're low on oil. That's a way to go ahead and lose a motor very easily, especially, you know, if you've had Subarus before. That's how a lot of Subarus blew up. So, you know, that's something you got to keep in mind. You got to be checking your oil constantly, changing your oil constantly. His car looks like a car that has been tracked realistically. You know, he's been enjoying it. He's got 95,000 miles in the chassis. He be getting at it for sure. 100%. That's something that, you know, obvious.
Sucks because, again, I've been
not obvious,
extremely
but it looks like it is.
With getting the oil changed as frequently as you're supposed to. I'm doing all my warm-up procedures correctly, and I'm doing everything at this point. It sucks because, you know, after
3K.
like the second motor,
I mean, look,
you can't help.
the car, it looks like he be getting at it, y'all, for real. Like, this is like if I was to go the track route with my car, you feel me? Because he has the wing, he has the front splitter, the canards, the hood vent, the latches. I mean, think about it this way. The only reason to go ahead and put those latches on the car is if you're going over 130, 140 mile an hour and the hood's flexing, because that's when the hood starts to flex around that speed. That's exactly why I have the latches on my car. Obviously, I need the latches on my car, carbon fiber hood, but that stock hood will do that. The S650 hood does that at like 130, 140 mile an hour. So that's exactly why he has the latches. So he be getting at it.
Start asking yourself, like, okay, is it something that I'm doing wrong? And I know for a fact I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. So we're now coming into the third motor. And the third motor, I had that one between 20,000 and 90,000 miles. So like a little over 70,000 miles. So that one.
So he had a Gen 2 motor that lasted 70,000 miles on it. That's actually, well, not really insane, but, you know, if we're talking about a Shelby GT350, that's pretty good. I mean, most owners aren't even going to hit 70,000. I mean, most people wouldn't even think somebody would drive these cars 70,000 miles. Oh, you can't go over 20,000 miles. Like, you feel me? Like, that's a lot of miles on one motor. Not really, you know, not really a lot of miles at all. But for a Shelby GT350, considering the fact that, like I said, most owners are afraid of their own shadow and they don't like to drive their car. They're afraid to drive their car, this and that. Getting 70,000 miles out of a Gen 2 is pretty good. Obviously, there's people who have, you know, 70,000+ miles on Gen 1s, you know, NA and boosted. So, you know, again, that's kind of proof that, you know, it really is, you know, maintenance. You know what I'm saying? He obviously maintained that motor right if he got 70,000 miles on the motor and his car looks the way it does.
Pretty decent time. It's always been a different issue each time we've had a motor replaced. So I guess that kind of reassures to me that, like, okay, if I actually 1,000 miles, so like a little over 70,000
So this is the motor
so
that is in the car now.
Pretty decent.
With the misfires. They'll start to misfire.
It's always been a different issue.
I wonder if they check the
each
plugs.
time we've had a motor
because realistically,
replaced.
70,000 miles, if they never change the plugs, it is, I mean, that is going to be, you know, problematic for a misfire.
So
maybe the plugs weren't
kinda
changed. Who knows?
Reassures to me that, like, okay, if I actually was the reason why these motors are getting replaced, then maybe it would be the same exact issue every time, but it hasn't been the same exact issue every time.
So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, y'all. Is this user error or is this guy just incredibly unlucky? I mean, 70,000 miles with one of the motors, that's not bad whatsoever. But again, it's kind of weird how he went to the dealership for an exhaust issue and they went ahead and did a compression test and said he needed a new engine. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. That's a huge, you know, turn in the wrong direction. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's absolutely crazy. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out Formulin. I'm curious to see exactly, you know, what goes down with this whole warranty procedure and, you know, what he decides to do next. Because I know he's thinking about getting another car. I think he wants to get like a Viper or maybe even a C7Z06. Both would be valid replacements for the Shelby GT350, but it's crazy though. The car was mechanically stock, no tune on the Ford tune, and he's on motor number 4 now. That's wild in my personal opinion. That's actually insane. But yeah, wish you the best, brother. Hopefully you guys enjoy the vid, and catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.